There's some more stuff over there you can break.
What are we gonna do?
The way I see it, we got two options. Option one, you take the easy way out. It's quick and painless. I'm not a fan of option one. Two, we fight.
Fight for what? We're gonna turn into one of those things.
There are a million ways we should have died before today. And a million ways we can die before tomorrow. But we fight for every second we get to spend with each other. Whether it's 2 minutes or 2 days, we don't give that up. I don't want to give that up. My vote? Let's just wait it out. You know, we can be all poetic and just lose our minds together.
What's option 3?
Sorry. Come on. Let's get out of here.
Hello guys, today I'm going to be sharing my take on why I think The Last of Us Left Behind is so important. It's a perfect coming of age story and showing what it really means to grow up. And even in the apocalypse, when the world has changed so much, but to these kids, this is the only thing they know of how the world works. The story tackles so much. It tackles death, loss, friendship, innocence, and what it means to live your life and have fun no matter the odds. Now, I'm going to talk about the game, but not the comic, because the comic, although came first chronologically, my focus is more on the game. So I'm just going to point out that Riley and Ellie are friends, and they met in the federal school. So when we open up the game, we see Ellie sleeping. We see it's summertime, and Riley sneaks into a room and scares her. This signifies their friendship already. We learn that Riley became a Firefly, and now he has questions to ask her. So we see Riley telling Ellie for them to go sneak out. And I find it nice just from the way Ellie looks. She looks so depressed. And I love how just seeing her, we can read that she's still a kid growing up and how this innocence just embodies her. Just from her sense of style, it reminds me of the movie 8th Grade, if you ever saw it. It tackles an innocent young girl trying to meet new people that are older and how she's coming out of her shell, learning to talk and approach people more. Is a very good movie. It's very good coming of age. It reminds me of this. The movie shows that she was dealt a bad hand of cards and she just has to play them. Just seeing the way she misses Riley, her only friend who disappeared without telling her, made Ellie feel so alone, because everyone she cares for has either died or left her. From these actions giving her abandonment issues. As we get to the mall and Ellie and Riley spending time together, Ellie asking Riley why she left and Riley revealing she joined the Fireflies, we get a falling out of Riley apologizing because she didn't want to become a Federal soldier and have everyone hate you and basically become a dictator because she's 16 and that's the age Federal makes you one. So, as we hear, Riley makes up with Ellie. We start seeing them play with the water guns that got taken by their teacher, and then seeing them have the best night of their lives because Riley will be leaving tomorrow to join the Fireflies. You know, dancing, having fun, listening to Aretha Franklin, just two young girls, best friends, having the time of their lives, basically getting all poetic together. But since they're so loud, it causes infected to wake up and chase after them. Riley shoots one of the infected, now he stabs one, but it's too late because Ellie sees that she's bitten, and this scene just tears me up inside. Just the way her voice changes as she goes, no, 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 this wasn't supposed to happen. And then Riley shows Ellie that she's bitten. 2 is just pure sadness. Because that moment you realize what happened, you start reflecting on your life. And at this moment, you slowly have to start coming to terms with your death. And for a 14-year-old to have to go through something like this, knowing that all your thoughts, actions, memories, and more will be done away with and gone. Think like this: when you don't have a life ahead of you in a destroyed world, where friends are hard to find, where no one sees that your life matters, just to grow up and become military because it's your fate. The world just seems so empty. What even is the point for me to keep moving on if it's not going to get better? This virus is going to stay around. Humans are going to continue to fight. What purpose do I serve in this world? Just these thoughts, and being 14 thinking this, it's just sad to see. It's sad to see someone so young go through this. So, as she starts breaking stuff, and Riley's sitting down, sad, probably thinking about how her future would have gone, just thinking, what if she became a soldier? What would it be like with the Fireflies? What was her destiny? Maybe it's best if Riley died. Maybe that's what she was thinking. And while thinking all this, and with Ellie breaking stuff, with a sad look on her face, she tells and points to Ellie, there's more stuff to break over there. And Ellie crying, asking Riley, what are we going to do? Then Riley says, we can either take the easy way out, or we can wait, lose our minds, and get all poetic together. I'm not a fan of option 1, she says. We see how accepting death is the hardest thing to come to terms with, but how death is inevitable, and it's basically everyone's fate at the end of the day. Riley even said, we could have died a million ways before today, so at least this wasn't the worst way to die. You know how the story ends. Riley and Ellie waited out and decided to die together. But instead, Riley ends up turning, even though it's shown off screen, just Ellie, Riley probably sitting down, sad, waiting for their turn. Riley turns, and Ellie, nothing happening to her, probably has to shoot Riley. This is probably the saddest thing Ellie probably had to do in her life. Then next, there's Tez, Sam, and then Joel. But besides the point, we already know Ellie lives, and like she tells Joel at the end of the game, she's just waiting for her turn next, she quotes. We're having survivor's guilt, and like I said before, Tez, Sam, and Henry dying, and her being the only one alive, she's left with the greatest pain ever. And as we see in part 2, like I said, same thing happens to Abby, from losing her father to losing herself, pushing everyone away from her and causing her friends to die. We see that to Ellie, Joel was the last person she didn't want to die in vain without doing anything about it. This world took so much from her. And in part 2, now that she's old enough to do something about it, she was done. She couldn't take being alone anymore. And although she wasn't really alone, she pushed people away, did the same thing Abby did. This DLC truly shows coming of age. It shows that even in the apocalypse, where there are no laws, no morals, just humans fighting and killing for their own greed, Riley and Ellie are still just kids. In this DLC, it surely shows that death is inevitable. Same kind of friendships are like today. Just young girls hanging out, having fun, no matter if they're poor, rich, orphans. They're still friends, making the best of their situations and having fun. The same way Riley and Ellie did, just play what the cards are dealt. But in real life, corresponding with the game, your fate is already sealed, and death is inevitable, even if you're a child. The world is very cruel, and maybe in The Last of Us Part 3, it may be Ellie's turn next, probably keeping an unspoken promise she made to Riley.